Good evening, baseball fans, and welcome to the Coliseum here for another edition of Oakland Athletics Baseball, as we are here as the 37 and 36 Oakland Athletics play host to the 42 and 31 AL East leading Toronto Blue Jays. The Blue Jays lineup is as follows: center fielder Pilar, followed by second base Travis, third base Donaldson, DH Encarnacion, left field Rasmus, first base Colabello, right field Brown, catching is Martin, and shortstop is Goins. While on the mound for the Athletics is the right-hander J.R. Newman. 6-6 on the year with a sub-4 ERA at 3.51 to be exact, and 14 games started, 75 Ks, and 92 and a third innings pitched. And he'll start his day off against Kevin Pillar, the center fielder for the Toronto Blue Jays. Hitting 270 so far in the season in that leadoff spot. As here comes the first pitch from Newman of the ball game is whiffed through for strike number one as we are underway. And the 0-1 count to Pilar as Newman sets, turns, kicks, and fires. That's a ground ball at the shortstop, fielded by Barreto, fires across the diamond, and the scoop from Vogt over at first retires Pilar for out number one. So one down, that brings up the number two hitter, also playing second in Devin Travis. Digs in with the 3-2 count against Newman. Kicks and fires. As that's taken for ball four, so he'll take his base. Devin Travis trots on down to first base as he's on first with one out. And that brings up the third baseman, the former Athletic Josh Donaldson. So Donaldson at the plate as Newman sets at the chest, working from the stretch. The pitch is whiffed through for strike number one. 0-1 count. Runs to 0-2 on Donaldson. Newman sets. From the stretch, here it comes. And he whiffs through the slider. He goes down swinging. Strikeout for J.R. Newman. His first of the game comes against Donaldson, so it's two down, runner on first, and Travis brings up the designated hitter in Edwin Encarnacion. The Blue Jays leader in RBI. With a 1-2 count, here it comes. That's a ground ball to second base. They take the short way at second as Barreto's there to step on the bag as he's retired for out number three. And that's going to wrap things up here for halfway through one inning. No hits to no runs for the Blue Jays. Welcome back to the bottom half of the first inning as the Athletics lineup is center fielder Sean Andino, followed by first base Vogt, third base Solarte, right field Davis, DH Bautista, catching is Benitez, left field Canna, shortstop Barreto, and second base Jackie Allen rounds things out. While on the mound for the Blue Jays is the right-hander Drew Hutchinson, 3-4 on the year with a 4.41 ERA in 13 games started so far here in 2018. And Sean Andino makes his way to the plate, recently called back up from AAA Nashville after a short stint at the beginning of the season with this Athletics ball club, as the first pitch to him is in there for strike one. So the 0-1 count to Andino. Hutchinson sets and delivers. That's swung on and driven a long way to right center field. You can kiss that one goodbye. Andino. Sean Andino with his third home run of the season connects on that one. It's a solo shot to start off the game for the A's, and just like that, it's 1-0 Athletics. As here's Stephen Vogt to dig in, and the first pitch to him is in there for strike one. So 1-0 A's lead here, 1-2 count to Stephen Vogt. The pitch from Hutchinson is whiffed through, that's strike three, he goes down swinging. So one down here, and that brings up the three hitter and the third baseman, Yangervis Solarte. Hitting 200 in his last few games, hitting a slump here, so in this recent stretch. As the 1-0 pitch is going to be clubbed at the second base, fielded by Travis, tosses over to first, and Solarte's retired easily for out number two. So two down here. In the bottom half of the first inning brings up the cleanup hitter in Chris Davis. Lead this Athletics team with 14 home runs on the season, and he's got himself a full count to work with. Here comes the pitch, as it's going to be ripped into left field. That's going to be fielded by Rasmussen. Left gets it into the cutoff man. And Davis is on first base, so that brings up Jose Bautista. Here comes the first pitch. Whipped through for strike one. Big cut on that one. So the 2-1 count to Bautista now as Hutchinson sets from the stretch. Here comes the pitch. That's going to be a chopper out in front of the home plate. Fielded by Martin, tosses over to first, and Bautista is retired for out number three. in the bottom half of the first inning, but not before Andino strikes on a solo shot. It's 1-0 A's over the Blue Jays here at the end of one. And here we are back in the bottom half of the second inning as Ramon Benitez digs in for the Athletics. The new catcher as Vogt has been shifted over to first after Olsen was sent down as the 0-1 pitch, the 1-0 pitch correction is grounded over to first base, fielded by Colabello, and he'll step on the bag as that's Benitez is put away for out number one. And now that brings up Mark Canha, who's hitting .353 in his last 5 games. He was also recently called up from AAA Nashville. Digs in with a 3-2 count. Here it comes, and that's whiffed through for strike 3. He goes down swinging. So just like that, Hutchinson has 2 outs, and it brings up the shortstop in Franklin Barreto. The former Blue Jays prospect was acquired in the Josh Donaldson trade. And the first pitch to him backs him off the plate. It's a high and in. High cheese, backs him off the plate. Count runs 2-2 on Barreto. Hutchinson sets, kicks, and fires. That's a check swing, and it gets away from the catcher Martin. He throws over to first, and Barreto beats it out, so a drop third strike. It's a strikeout, but Barreto's able to get on base, so he's on first with 2 outs. As that brings up Jackie Allen, playing second base on the day, also recently called up from AAA Nashville. As a 2-0 count on him, here comes the pitch. It's going to be clobbered over the head of the shortstop into left field as Rasmus has trouble with it. That gets up against the wall. Barreto's at third. He's rounding third, heading for home, and he slides in safely. That's an RBI double for Jackie Allen. And just like that, the A's now have a 2-run lead as it's 2-0 A's. Here with 2 outs and Andino at the plate with a 1-2 count. Allen at second. Here comes the pitch. And that hooks him up on the outside half. He cannot pull the trigger. He goes down on the backwards K, but not before the A's strike for 1 on an RBI double from Jackie Allen. 2-0 A's here at the end of 2. And here we are at the Coliseum for the top half of the 4th inning as Josh Donaldson, the former A, digs in to face his former team. As with 1 out, here comes the first pitch to him. Taken for ball 1 in the inside half. So the 1-0 count to Donaldson. Now runs the 3-1. Newman kicks, fires. That's ball 4. So ball 4 as Donaldson takes his base. He'll trot on over to first base. As that brings up the DH and Edwin Encarnacion for this Blue Jays team. He's 0 for 1 on the day with a ground out back in the first. Here with 1 out and a runner on first. So Newman working from the stretch now. Sets at the chest. Here comes the pitch. That's ball 4 on the 3-1 count. So, back-to-back walks there from Newman as 2 runners now on base with 1 out. And that brings up the left fielder in Colby Rasmus. Here with his second tour with the Blue Jays. 0 for 1 so far in the day. Newman sets in the stretch. Here comes the pitch. That's taken for ball 1. Count runs 2-2 now, all evened up on Rasmus. Newman delivers. That's the line drive over the head of Vogt, fielded by Davis. He comes up with it, fires to the plate, and Donaldson holds up at third base. So bases loaded here with 1 out for the Athletics. For the Blue Jays, with the Athletics pitching, as Newman sets and delivers the first pitch to Colabello. And that's going to be backing him away from the plate. 1-0 count, runs the 2-0. As Newman's behind in the count, here comes the pitch. That's a chopper in front of the plate. Benitez tries to go to second with it, gets the runner at second over to first, is not in time as a runner does come in, and that's a 1. That's first run of the game for the Blue Jays. It's now a 1-run game, 2-1 Oakland lead. As with 2 outs, the Blue Jays have runners on the corners, and Dominic Brown digs in. The 1-2 is swung on and taken past the first baseman's glove of Vogt. 1 run comes in, Davis fields, tosses into the cutoff man, and we have a tie ball game here in the top half of the 4th inning thanks to Dominic Brown. Runners on first and second now with 2 outs brings up Martin. And the first pitch he whiffs through for strike 1. So we have a tie game here now. 0-2 count as Newman sets and delivers. And that's whiffed through for strike 3. Martin goes down on the K, but not before the Blue Jays strike for 2. As we are all tied up at 2 here halfway through 4. Welcome back to the bottom half of the 6th inning as Stephen Vogt digs into the batter's box. 0 for 2 so far in the day with 2 strikeouts. Tie ball game up at 2. As the first pitch from Hutchinson is taken high for ball 1. So count runs full now to Vogt. Left-handed side of the batter's box. Here comes the pitch. As that's connected on that one, Vogt sends this to the same place Andino did. That's a solo shot for Stephen Vogt. Connects on that one, and he gives the Athletics a 1-run lead here in this top half of the 6th inning. Vogt's solo shot makes it a 3-2 A's lead. And now with no outs, that brings up the 3-hitter in Yangervis Solarte. The first pitch to him is going to be popped up into shallow right field. Brown is camped under that one as the former Phillies top prospect retires it for out number 1. After the Vogt solo shot. So now with 1 out, that brings up the cleanup hitter in Chris Davis. 1 for 2 so far with a single back in the first. 1-0 count, here it comes. That's a ground ball stabbed at third by Donaldson. Fires across the diamond as Davis is retired for out number 2. So 2 down now as that brings up the DH and Jose Bautista playing against his former team of the Blue Jays. Here comes the 2-2 from Hutchinson. And he can't pull the trigger on it. Slider gets him on the inside half. Bautista goes down looking on the backwards K, but not before Stephen Vogt connects on the solo shot to give the A's a 3-2 lead here in the end of 6. And here we are in the top half of the 9th inning as the left-hander Sean Doolittle comes out of the bullpen looking for his 24th save of the season here in this 3-2 A's lead over the Blue Jays as he'll be facing the right-handed bat of Chris Colabello to start off his top half of the 9th. 0-1 count to Colabello as Doolittle sets and delivers. That's going to be a chopper down the line, fielded by Benitez, tags him on the line as Colabello is put away for out number 1. And this brings in a pinch hitter for the right fielder. Dominic Brown is going to be Troy Tulowitzki. 1-0 count. Here it comes from Doolittle. That's swung on and popped out to left field. Canna is under it. Barely has to move as that is retired for out number 2. So Tulowitzki put down as a pinch hitter, and now that brings up the catcher in Russell Martin. 0 for 3 so far in the day, and he is this Blue Jays team's last hope. 1-2 count. Doolittle sets at the belt and delivers. And he got him on the backwards K. That's how this ball game ends as the Oakland Athletics come away with the victory here over the Toronto Blue Jays by a score of 3-2 here in Oakland as the Athletics improve to 38-36 on the year and the Toronto Blue Jays drop to 42-32. J.R. Newman, deservedly so, picks up player of the game honors for the Athletics. He pitched 6 innings strong, only gave up 5 hits and struck out 7. He's now 7-6 on the year. Doolittle gets his 24th save, while Drew Hutchinson is now dropped to 3-5. And Dino and Vogt both had solo shots for the Athletics, while Jackie Allen had himself a RBI double. And with that being said, that's going to wrap things up here for this edition of Athletics Baseball. I have been your host, Jersey Born, and I'm saying goodbye.
Oh, we